the most merciful. All praises due to Allah, the Lord of the world, the beneficent, the most merciful, master of this day of judgment in which we now live. O my brothers and sisters, America is facing a judgment. So God is master of this day of judgment. Wait till some of you guys tune in. Bear with me. I'm gonna wait till some of you guys time in before I get started. Share the live. Enjoy the live. Wait till some of you guys time in. Bear with me. Wait till some of you guys time in before I get started. All right, we're gonna get started. God is master of this day of judgment. Now tell me something. Why should there be a judgment? Why? Are there any accessory for it? You see, many of us, my dear brothers, have been before the judges. And my dear brothers, you have been before the judges. But you know that these judges do not judge with justice. And that some of us have been with them long enough that you don't expect to see any justice done. Isn't that right? So now we can take our case to court. You see, it's natural. It's what as good citizens should do. But the judges of this world are not just judges. And since that there is no real justice in this world, this is why God comes. And this is why there will be a day of judgment and a limit set on America and against this world. Now, the judgment. See, when you get a judgment, what do that mean? means that a judge has rendered a decision. And that decision is called the judgment. The judgment is when he or she makes opinion. Whether they judge authoritatively, rise, good sense, discretion, action, the judgment. So when you had a sentence hearing, that judge, he or she, can sentence you to life without the possibility of parole. So now the question is, what kind of power do you have to overturn that decision? Now listen carefully now. God has made a decision. And that decision is the total judgment of America. I know that you say you are American. There's nothing wrong with that. Say what you will. But the question is America good? And by what standards? Because someone who had to make it known published the decision. Now listen carefully to me. Because some of you want to integrate. See, some of you are in love with the enemy. Some of you are willing to befriend your murderers. So if God sends down this judgment on the enemy that you are in love with, you say, no, God, I ain't going with you unless I bring white folks with me. Yes, this is you. See, some of you say, the hell with you, God. And I know that there's some good white people. Then you start making yourself busy trying to find someone good that you can tell your God to your own God. See, you remind me of Abraham. You see, when Abraham went to the angels and told the angels, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? What he says, well, go see. Can you find 50? You find 50, I will not spare the city. You see, Abraham couldn't find 50. And then he said, well, go see, can you bring 40? And he said, well, go see, can you bring 30? And he said, well, go see, can you bring me one outside of Locks and his family? If you can bring me one, I spare the city. See, God delays judgment so that the people that he has judged are not worthy of what they bow to get. America is in a full pledge of her judgment. Judgment is here, America. And I'm warning you that her judgment has come. You see what's going on in Kentucky? Kentucky under a flash emergency. the deceivers and the deceive. We, the whole nation of the lost found of our black nation in America, must remember that for the past 400 years, we have been reared by the enemies of our fathers. According to their own history, writing, bringing us up from our native lands and people into the Western hemisphere was not for the purpose of making themselves friendly people to us and our nation, but deceive us as being that which they actually were, not a friend and advisor to us, while at the same time depriving us of truth, justice, and equality, even now after 400 years of servitude, slavery. We must remember that the deceiver actually have deceived us. The coming of God and the person of Master Fallah Muhammad, to whom praise or due favor is to make manifest this arch deceiver, work against us and to equip us with the nature of the arch deceiver that seeks as part of his very nature. He allowed come to give us the knowledge of the God of evil, who have freedom for the past 6,000 years to deceive not only you and me, but also the entire nation of the earth. This is the great starvation that God allowed God to bring to you and me to know the source of our trouble and cause, the power of the manifestators, and to remove this cause which has affected the black nation for 6,000 years. God hates the American wicked right race, and he's threatened to remove them today. Is verified in the Bible and Quran. You got hundreds of thousands of preachers is willing to take the people into the fall of America. It is worth the heaven and earth to us when you agree on that trying to make them our friends, which by nature they cannot be, even if they wanted to. Only a few have the brief of goodness. By nature, they are not good, but they can practice goodness. Our position makes us the victims of deceits of these great scientific deceivers, the right race. They put us to sleep as babies. And they know the type of noise that awakens sleeping baby. The noise is that which Allah and the person of Master Fallah Muhammad has made. And he Allah has mission me continue to make that noise until our people are fully awakened from the slumber of the receiver of the nation of this earth. Surely not all are really working to keep us blind, deaf, and dumb to the knowledge of the receiver, but the few who will help us endanger their own life and trying to help us. Hit that like button. As you see, the Christian priests in Milwaukee who profess to be trying to help those who want to live next door and house of the children of our father's slave masters having trouble. Even this easy can be classified as deceitful work against truth, freedom, justice, and equality for our people. This priest is having trouble amongst open, victorious haters of you and me of his kind. This priest wants to help the poor black man here in America, especially in Milwaukee, to set forth friendship to forever be at their mercy to rule spiritually, economically, and politically. He is not trying to teach the black man that they should not want to sell themselves back to their slave master for a morsel of pottage. This priest knows by the Bible, by the scriptures in his Bible, that the time is right for the total freedom of the 400-year-old slave of the white man to go to his owner. This priest is right to you that you should have a place to live wherever you want. He would not dare teach this openly before this day and time, the end of this world. The others are so evil and victorious to do us harm. That great gang of white people out on the streets will attack that one poor black man going to the area in his car and would yell, "Get that nigga." This is the coward action of the white man in America ever since we have been here, going after the so-called nigga to do him harm. You always want 100 whites to attack that one nigga. This shows cowardice and savage attempts of the white race against black people. The black man could put a stop to such attack of this evil force, but it's not the way of Allah God. It's not the way of the prediction as the priest knows. The coming of Allah in search for the black lost members of the nation today to make himself known so he can conquer our captors by using weapons against which they have no powers. He Allah will bring an attack, a divine judgment of the world without the use of contrived weapons. The weapons of war used by God in the past history of destruction of the enemy of God, such as Noah's people, Lot's people, and Moses' people, are an example of what he will use today. The weapons are the force of nature against which we have no defense. America is under such divine attack now in storms as rain, hail, earthquakes, fire. The laugher is yet to take place. A terrific drought is on its way to against America. The books must be fulfilled. The Bible and Holy Quran both refer to all that I said. This is the divine judgment to bring victorious America to her knees. See, America hates the people of God. And the nigger do not know that they are really the people of God. This is the great truth that you must come to a knowledge of, that you are a member of the families of God and not the members of the families of the devil. But you follow the devil's country to your own nature. The natural man, black, is of his God himself. We have been deceived of righteousness, justice, and equality by the art deceivers. We have been taken from the knowledge of self as being a true people of God, and that God is present, seeking us to place us again into the orbit, a divine supreme being where we can rotate in submission to the will of God as the entire universe is doing, except the right race. We cannot set up a better government for our people by using the corrupt political activities of this people, the arch deceivers. All of their work was based upon deceiving the nation, not to bring them to friendly brotherhood and prosperity for the black man. Even today, after 400 years of the so-called freedom, he is still against you going free. This is your trouble today. You are deceived and deceived by the enemy you think is a friend. But take notes of what he's offering you. He's offering you only a temporary enjoyment and not a permanent enjoyment for your people. And this is why the nations suffer today from the fact we want some earth and not a temporary room and house of our enemies. Let the political and spiritual leaders unite on such a stand as getting some earth for the people and not getting just a job and a chance to low around sleeping, allowing the enemy to protect our responsibility for self. We must bear our own responsibilities. This, the God of justice and truth will force you to do before he will be defeated. His purpose and aim is to unite us to our own. He will fight the arch deceiver with the force of nature, with his own wisdom, which has no equal, to make you an enemy. Bow to his will. This is the judgment of the world, especially the white man in America. We have been here for 400 years, living between the two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific, to do as he pleases. The slave is deprived of freedom to do as he pleases, but to do as the slave master pleases. Our great misunderstanding of self and of others lies the deceits of the arch deceiver of us that will never teach you and me to do good for self, only under their own power and dictatorships. What we need is unite, not demanding and marching over the country to live near the white man in his home, but demand a separate place for us in this country and help us with the means of civilization as he have to get started limited time to get started within the next 20 or 25 years. Many scientists think that it's too late for this demand because the anger of Allah, God, against America for evil done to us. But Allah has power for all things. He does that which he will to do. It is up to white America, and she wants to help us. It will be a great good putting us on the way to self by any evil one or nation. God of justice will grant them reward for doing such, as no good act goes without its reward. To deceive the so-called nigger under temptation, filth, and a promise that they would be given jobs and new homes next door to them, in the same territory which their very nature is against, and which is without any future. It's temporary enjoyment. We want something permanent. Give us a few of these states to live in to ourselves, which we have well earned it for 400 years of labor. When he sees that his life and your life are at stake to try to accept the present plan filled with deceits, the Negro, both you and he, welcome an opportunity to agree on this kind of program. Unite with me, Black America, for your starvation. Evil spreading far and wide. Never since the creation of Adam and Eve had there been such time as we are witnessing today, with the worst yet to come. There is no peace amongst the nations of the earth. The only few people who enjoy peace of mind and contentment in this day and time are the elect of God, though they are persecuted from city to city, falsely accused and denied the credit due them because of their righteousness and the millers of the wicked who have ruled the world. By no means can the righteous be represented for the righteous sake by the evildoers of the world. God is despised, rejected, evil is accepted, honor and justice stands afar off, and equity cannot come in, said the prophet Isaiah in the Bible. The Holy Quran warns us to fear a day when evil is spread far and wide, in the days of God's presence, at the end of the satanic world, to bring it to nothing. Allah God caused the evil world to be upset. They have been enemies of peace, and the haters and destroyers of the righteous, who would have brought them peace if they had accepted those worthy of the prophets. But they reject all Jesus charged them with, being the murderers of the righteous, from Abel to Zechariah. And we can very well add more, instead from Abel to Muhammad. Today, America professes to be the most Christianized country on our planet. Actually, she is not. For Christian means to be Christianized to one. Spiritually, that one refers to the Christ. Christ means the one who is coming at the end of the world, of the wicked as a crusher. His name actually means one who is anointed to crush the wicked. The real satanic people are the right race, who have disgusted themselves to deceive the black people to follow them. They just use the name Christian, which means to be Christ-like. They have set up a head for the religion in Rome, Italy, with a pope or father who represent himself as being the intercessor, meaning one who is second only to Christ or God, to intercede for the people's sins and recognition of God. But he had no divine backing. These are the days of God and Christ's presence to destroy this evil world with all deceptions, that the people should again later labor under a wicked ruler, the devil. The presence of Allah has upset the devil, who had exercised total control over the world under falsehood. and have made evil to appear fair seemingly. The so-called Christian world had never before displayed such madness as they do today. Since they cannot hide their real wickedness and deceitful ways, they are angry. According to the preaching and teaching of Christianity, they prophesied that they alone will be happy, that they will welcome the coming of the Messiah, the Christ. But the Bible condemned them, that they was angry and sought to hide their faith from him, God. It should be clear to you today that Christian America does not want such preaching as tie submission to the will of Allah's Islam. The Christian hates the very name of God, such as Muhammad, which are attribute of God. The Jesus prophesies that they will hate you for his God namesake, for having one of his name, because the name of God are to live forever. No, the name of God are to live forever. No other people on earth have the names of God but the Muslims. So the coming of just one make manifest to you this evil race of sinners, and they will be against this God's presence and be anger because of him who will seek to destroy him and his messengers, as it is written and prophesied in second song. Every nation have a term, and every nation have a term. So when a term comes, they cannot remain behind. They cannot remain behind the least. Why? Nor can they preside. The Holy Quran, Surah, chapter 7, 34. There was a term for the people of Noah, Locks, and Moses. This also holds truth in the life and death of individuals. All is under control of Almighty Allah, especially when a divine beginning and ending have been appointed for the accomplishments of certain work that must be done by the life of people. The above chapter of the verses of the Holy Quran is a warning to the present nation whose term is now coming to an end. If we know what is said to us and what is written by the prophet for us to read, study, and plan over, if we understand, we must not fall victims to misunderstanding and disbelief. The trouble with the black man in America is that he is heedless of the truth. For he was reared by the slave foster parents who was his enemy, the right race. They caused him to become heedless. It was the intention of the enemy to make the black man enemy to the truth as himself was and is. This the enemy was successful in doing. For the black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, and dumb, in many instances as dead. This is the work of the enemy. Therefore, it took one who is our friend and not our enemy to do good to us, to restore us to life mentally. Children of the father slave master who took our life mentally are working just as faithfully as their fathers did. However, since 100 years have elapsed for the time of the fathers, the children are wiser and educated more method to keep the black man in America blind, deaf, and dumb. Blind, deaf, and dumb. In the days of servitude slavery, our grandparents, the white slave masters, did not give them any good food, as you can see. Today, you can buy good food if you have the money. However, much of it is poisoned by chemical use. The slave master will offer a piece of fried chicken and a butter with a little biscuit on it to the so-called as the introducement for him to teach or preach what the slave master wanted him to all of the other slaves on Sunday morning. The slave did not have the theology of the scriptures. He made his other brothers spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb. The same goes for the preachers of today. As you can see, they preach for a reward for both whites and blacks. I have tried them for many years. They are as their fathers were. They desire the exhortation of this white man, and they want to give them a better position. And they will offer to cut off the heads of their black brothers if it will please their masters. If it will please their masters. Although I live in a neighborhood with white neighbors, I do so for the purpose of proving that I can live in a neighborhood just as cleanly and noisily as they do. White people do not like you to come to their neighborhood jumping on them and licking them in the mouth like a puppy. They do not want their friends to think that they are taking you for an equal. He will talk to you as a friend when he is not in the presence of his members of society. They do not like you coming into their blocks, beating your wife or girlfriends, and drinking in front of the house. No decent, intelligent person like this, whether he is white as snow or black as the ace of spade. You can go to the jungle and you will not want this. Late at night, he and a gang of monkeys will come out and beat you up. The American so-called nigger had been made out of himself and kind by white Americans. He must now be reformed. In fact, God has promised him a new body. The Bible and Holy Quran teach us that we will be a new people altogether. He will destroy and act ignorant and foolish. He is not aware of his ignorant action because he had become a part of ignorancy. Now the end of the term which was set for the white man have come. The average so-called Negro, the law-found members of the black nation does not know that this is the end of the world of the white man, his rule over the black nation. He will not listen to one of his own kind who tell or teach him of the time and doom of this world that we had known, white man's world. They offer high position and money to the so-called intellectual politician who work against the good of the black American people. They accept such, for they have been deprived of love for self and kind. What do they care about the men who are splintering the mud of civilization? They are content as long as they eat the butter biscuit and the fried chicken as their slave fathers did. You will not think that they will hire themselves out to be stew pigeons. White man bootlickers, Uncle Toms in these modern times of advanced education, but they are doing just that. They do not want the praise and exhortation of God and their own black people. They want it from their slave master children. Slave master children will give it to them as long as they reject themselves in kind and worship and exalt the white people. The white man is very clever in making a public fool of the black man. They show the brown, yellow, and red man what a good job they have done on the black man in America and throughout the earth is doing what nature bid him to do. I do not blame the white man anymore for making fools of our people. It is the nature of the white man to make a fool of our people. But it is not the nature of our people to allow him to make a fool of us. But when you have been given a knowledge of yourself, the nature in which God created you, and you still allow the enemy to make a fool of you, then you do not have the sympathy of God and the righteous, not the knowledge. The divine terms that was given to this right race to allow them to make a fool of the black man and rule him with tricks is now up. The devil with his tricks must be removed. He was given this chance to deceive you with his trickology. And therefore, God would not hinder the devil from tricking you if he can. This is written in the Holy Quran, chapter 7. But God promised hellfire for both the devil and his followers we can get from the black nation. Therefore, you and I, at the knowledge of the devil, his tricks, his term, should not blame anyone but ourselves. If we allow the devil to trick us, for that is the job of the devil, but it's his nature. We blame ourselves and not the enemies. You left for his have new women and thirst for whiskey and beer, desire gambling, robbing, and killing each other for the personal properties of others. This is the work of the devil upon you. You do not have to allow him to cause you to live such a life. Do not blame them. Blame your foolish self. It always been the policy of this white man to use a black man against a black man, especially leaders. Look at history. See how he had to see and kill all black leaders of foraging land? And then they took over themselves? This should be a lesson for you and me. We the Muslims have watched our people who have come amongst us as eyes and ears and stewed pigeons for white folks. When they have become converted to the truth and join us, they confess that they are ashamed that they have worked against us for the sake of a few perishable dollars. Know that the white man is our enemies. Whoever we are, he offers some silly so-called nickel at high office and high pay to work against us Muslims, the righteous, or any so-called nickel, whether he be a Baptist, Methodist, holy roller, or sanctified. Some lazy so-called nickel work against him for this white man. It is a shame in such modern time to see black politicians and preachers accepting position to work against their own black people for a few dollars from a race whose time have come to an end. We are justified in taking it if the white man give us $1 billion or $100 billion. We deserve it, but we are not justified to sell our life for such a gift in this day and time. Declare yourself a Muslim. See how much this white devil will give you. He would say we would give it to you if we preach that we are not devils. And we answer that is just the same as saying, if you do not teach the truth from me, so I can continue to see the world of your kind, I will help you. Remember what the Bible teaches us, that Satan said to Jesus, all these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. Matthew 4:9. He showed him the kingdoms of the world. Perhaps you will be offered the world or the wicked pretty soon. And so the Bible says, what profit a man if he gains the world and lose his own life soul? This is a warning to the preachers. The little money with its dying value will not help you against God's aim and purpose. At the resurrection of the dead, law-found members of the nation, you lose your life, for so in doing you should, for you cause innocent ones who are blind, deaf, and dumb to go to hell with yourself and the enemies. Allah God came forth in the person of Master Muhammad, whom praise are due forever. The Son of Man, as it is written, seeking to save that which was lost until he saw it again, that which hath gone astray. He said to me that he will eat the rattlesnake to save our life, and that he will walk 40 miles up a mountain to teach just one, in order to save his life in exchange for our safety, return to our own. He said, I have taken him for my God and my Savior. I advise you to do the same, regardless of the offer of money, with this fast becoming worthless. Jesus refused the money and drew upon the truth that is written. We must now worship Satan. Satan's place is behind us and not in front of us. It is the nature of Satan to try and deceive the very angels in heaven, not to think of the fools who are in hell. In the Bible, Revelation, it is written that you accept the enemy and go down in a lake of fire with him. Read the fallen passages of your Bible will draw on the time of yourself. America, the American white people are more concerned about mistreating the black one slave of America than Americans concerned with any nation on earth that is attacking her out lying posts. Her enemies are intensifying attack on her. America is right out of the frying pan into the fire all over the earth due to her evil intention against her loyal black one slave. Her talk of evil doing against the black one slave in America is worse than it is against independent nations that they are trying to attack and destroy her countries. While America have more hatred for the black one slave and her millers who are faithfully fighting on the frying line to help her against her enemies than she is against the enemies that they are shooting down. While America talks of building concentration camps, prison house for the black one slave, the black man in America, I'm told that America already have concentration camps built for this purpose. Concentration camps are jailhouses, prison houses. That's why I cry day and night to my black brothers to seek refuge in Allah, God, in such a time as this. The Muslims do not have to worry about any such imprisonment. For the Muslim is already a citizen of the Nation of Islam. And we have our own people, Muslims, to deliver us by the order of God. This is why it's so necessary that the black man in America accept Allah, God, and his names, and get out of the names of the enemy, white slave master, who does not seek to bring about peace for us. The enemy seeks to bring about our death. White America wants her black slave to suffer that which is not due to the black one slave. The black slave has not sinned, nor has the black one slave attacked other nation, except under the orders of his white slave master. Now God hates the American wicked right race, and he threatened to remove them from the face of this earth. Independence Day. Who Independence? Since 1776. You black men have been worshiping the 4th of July, along with the real authors of the 4th of July, the white man, as a day of independence for himself. It is the white slave master and his children who enjoy setting forth the 4th of July as a day of rejoicing over achieving this country, independence from any other foraging source. Now, the history of the 4th of July shows that it is the Independence Day of the American white man. They wrote the Declaration of Independence for himself. The white man did not put anything in the Declaration of Independence for the benefits of the black man, who was a servitude slave of the white man at that time. The joy which the black slave experienced on these holidays of this white man was due to the black man getting rest from his labor, and a day which the white man has set aside for celebration. It is all the black slave will be rejoicing over, that he did not have to work that day. So the white race took this day of independence to celebrate the joy of others. As the Bible says, as thou hast done, so shall it be done to you. Who should feel sorry for white America, for a white race of people who took this land from the native Indians, who had the independent claim called the present country of America? Now, I don't have no sympathy for a white race of people that God came to kill, to destroy, to move off the face of this earth. Warn your people. Warn them for 6,000 years. Don't come to us when destruction is rising as you see in it. The judgment of America will not be ignored. It been a year thou far that God been pledging white America day and night. And she's not going to survive it. Brothers and sisters, but you are free now. And you not need this for an excuse for you worshiping the 4th of July. There is no further need for us to worship the ganging of this white man independence. Let us take a look again at our own black independence, how it came on the same day of the 4th of July, at the coming of Allah, God, came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, on July 4th, 1930. The significance of his coming to us on the Independence Day of the white man is very great. It is their day of independence rejoicing as with former people in their governments. The destruction took place when it was at the heights of their rejoicing. The kings, according to the Bible history of him, Daniel chapter 4, was walking around in his palace, proudly looking around and admiring the skills of the work he has set up. And says that not all this my hands have made. The Bible teaches us that while the word was in his mouth, the end came. Allah God changed his mind and heart from that of a civilized man to a mind and heart of a beast. He had the brain reaction of a wild beast and was cast out amongst the dumb. What does that signify? And give us a gleam into the history of the white man and his being cast out of the society of the Muslims 6,000 years ago. After he was made and then started trouble amongst the people of righteousness. Troublemaking calls the white man and his exile into the hill and cave sides of West Asia, as Europe was called at that time. So Allah God taught me. And name was changed to Europe after the white man was cast into that area. Europe means a place where people are bound in, keep them out of society of the righteous. Moses made the white man as the independent race through the guidance which Allah God gave Moses to guide this white man out of his savage cage life and put him on the role of conquest of the black man. Now we're going to talk about our Caucasian people. We're going to talk about their savage days as they was the cavemans in Europe. If it wasn't for Moses to lead them out of their savage cage life and put them on the role of conquest, then it will be no flesh saved from a right race of people. They are rehearsed as the caveman. They follow used to have shaggy hairs, ducktails in the back. Brothers and sisters, for 400 years, this white man has swallowed us, the black man of America, up. He did not put us in a hole of the earth, but he swallowed us up by keeping anything like wisdom from coming to us. He set it bound against our own black people visiting us in order to prevent them from teaching us anything other than what this white man was teaching our black slave fathers. See, this cage us in made just a secure cage, as the little cage of Europe that the Arab people put the white man in 6,000 years ago. The 4th of July is a day of rejoicing of the white man over his opponents for the Western Hemisphere. He wrote his constitution for his own white people and not for his own black slave. And this is why the race suffered from the effect of today. We keep it real, man. We keep it real. Their time has come, man. And we ain't gonna feel sorry, man. I'm not gonna feel sorry for a race of people. It's like Pharaoh. Pharaoh seen his time was coming. So he had to see all the plagues come. And then Pharaoh want to have mercy and want to let the people go. And that's how America going to do. America going to see that this judgment is written on her walls and her governments. Before she see the whole effect, she's going to realize that she want to do something. It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late, man. It's going to be too late. This is why white America needs to seek refuge in a God in a time as this. In a time as this. No time going to pass. No time pass with God. No time is going to pass. Since this is his day, which he has set aside for himself, then what part, black brothers, do you have in this day? Your part is not mixed with his part in a way of his own white politics and physical independency. But as I call your attention to proud King history and what happened to him at the heights of his kingdom, Allah God never destroyed powerful people, nor deprived them of self-independency when they was in trouble or when they was sick with grief. It made them to feel happy. He made them think that they would live forever. So it was with the coming of Allah God, the person Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, on his coming to us on the 4th of July, 1930. His presence meant the destruction of the independency of the right race, especially America, over the black man. Allah God visited the black slave, for he is more in need of help to enjoy freedom of self. Since Allah God came for the purpose of bringing self-independency to the black slave, and then his going forth is with justice. The Bible, Revelation 19, verse 11, to show Allah God's greatness and power over the slave master and his people. Now Allah God attacks them at the heights of their civilization and at the greatness of the power and strength of the 4th of July, while they worship the greatness of the accomplishments, and the black slave is sitting at his feet. As it was with the king, and as it was with Pharaoh, the same is being repeated today. This is Allah God coming on the 4th of July. For 400 years, we have been suffering under the players of servitude, slavery, and at the relentless hands of this white slave master over us. Allah God came to give us freedom, justice to us, to make us equal members in society of a new, powerful, strong, and wise people of this earth. Ever since that day, the 4th of July, 1930, had meant the doom of white America domination over the black man of America and the black people of the earth. Ever since that day, white America had been falling. America's fall is now going on. America refused to break her fall when she could have broken her fall, as the Bible teaches us. Babylon could have been healed, but she was not. Jeremiah 51, verse 9. She did not do anything to want such forgiveness. America had been offered the chance for forgiveness, but she refused to accept it. She never offered to do anything favorable towards her black slave that would make them free of her powers to rule them. Black slaves went to their death fighting the enemy of this white slave master to help America to maintain her independency against foreign dominancy. The black slave was not given anything in exchange for a sacrifice. See, when the dog hunt for a hunter, the hunter master will sometimes share a part of the game with the dog. We have helped America. We have fought her wars. We went into Germany. We went into Mexico, the Philippines, there. Went to Pearl Harbor. Yes, our people, blood was spilled through the streets to give this white man comfort. And this is how he treats us today. This is why God said, revenge is mine. I will repay the oppressors. Well, he's praying America. So you're seeing her fall. And her fall will not be ignored.